Tell you what, because we're going to speak to Bashir right here in the studio. He's a Libyan activist who was in Tripoli as the uprising began. Members of your family have been arrested since released. What are you hearing from your contacts within Tripoli? Are you getting the same kind of message that there is potential for internal dissent to precipitate Gaddafi's fall?
Yeah, exactly. I think, Nick, what we're witnessing now is actually the final countdown. We can clearly say that, given the facts on the ground, the freedom fighters are closing in Tripoli from 3 different directions, the south, the east and the west. Inside Tripoli, NATO in the last 72 hours have dropped leaflets advising people to stay home, advising the civilians to stay home and stay away from the windows and stuff like that. So I think what we're going to see in the next 48 hours is pretty much possibly a heavy bombardment by NATO on some strategic targets inside the capital. Now, if we talk more about the battlefield elsewhere in Libya, yesterday we witnessed the fall of Zliten, which was pretty much the bottleneck. I think now we're going to pretty much see a very quick advance by the rebels, by the freedom fighters in Misrata going towards the west Tripoli. Also Zawiya, I can confirm now that the whole of Zawiya now is completely under the control of the freedom fighters. Now they are on the eastern part of Zawiya and they're considering advancing towards Tripoli.
Okay, so this has opened the way to advance towards Tripoli. What about Gaddafi's capabilities when that advance happens? How much strength does he have? Will his people stay with him in their battle to defend him and the capital?
I don't think so. I really doubt that. I think now, after 6 months of this conflict between Gaddafi, the Gaddafi regime and the Libyan people, now he reached the end. Really, the losses after losses, the NATO bombardment of targets in different parts of Libya. I think we're really coming very closely to the end now. We're also hearing reports now. There are really a lot of talks now between some members of the Gaddafi regime and international parties.
And these defections too, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we all seen yesterday the defection of Absalam Jaloud, which is a very, very important defection because he used to be the second in command to Gaddafi. His tribe is very important now. This is a very clear signal that he knows that Gaddafi's rule is over and it's only a talk of hours or days. Now, what people tell me in Tripoli is everybody's waiting for this deadline or the 0 hour where the freedom fighters inside Tripoli in coordination with NATO and also with the freedom fighters outside of Tripoli they are going to launch the final attack on what is remaining of Gaddafi forces. So we have to wait and see what's going to happen.
Is there, I mean, there's been a lot of rumours about what Gaddafi may have up his sleeve as a sort of final surprise for the advancing opposition fighters, mustard gas and so on and so forth. Do you think there is any of that kind of capability there?
I think that it's more of a propaganda war. The guy lost everything. He lost his military capability after 6 months of conflict. This is pretty much coming to an end. I really think that Gaddafi is going to consider leaving Libya, him and his family, in the next coming days. I think that's the only solution for him now. He doesn't have the capability to fight back the freedom fighters anymore, especially with the NATO bombardment.
And then the issue is what comes next, but that's another question for another day. Bashir, we appreciate your perspective on this. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.